Hi guys, so today I wanted to go over a few things with you. No face today. I've been sick all week. It started last Saturday and it just will not quit. I've been on antibiotics since Tuesday and I do not feel super great, and I know I don't look super great because of it. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on that. Um, this video is not going to be replacing the weekly plan. I usually make one. I just wanted to go over kind of a couple of things with you. If you are somebody who's a little bit behind, cover a couple of things in terms of what should be done at this point. And then on top of that, what I'm going to also be working on is kind of summarizing a little bit of the novel for you so that you kind of have a place to stand on um, in terms of the text. All right. So I have the calendar open here on my computer. You'll be able to see it with me. If you look real quick, your assignments are all due by 11:59 on May 3rd, which is this Sunday. You should have the Ed puzzle um, on edpuzzle.com completed. It does self-grade. All the questions are multiple choice. And then the Fallen Angels chapters 8 through 11. So I only made you guys read 3 chapters this week, or 4 chapters this week instead of 5. I didn't make you read one every day. I gave you, I think, Tuesday off to do the Ed puzzle thing instead, which was only like 15 minutes. All right. I wanted to pull this up really quick for you as well. By now in this class, as we kind of head into the last 3 to 4 weeks of school, I don't know what the end of May is going to look like. We might be asked to stop assigning work that last week of May in terms of like a final, or give you guys time to get some stuff in if you've been having a hard time getting work done. But at this point in the class, you should have read chapters 1 through 7 of Fallen Angels, and then you should have also completed completed Caesar's questions for 4 and 5. If you look, class 1 and class 2, so first period and second period, are already graded. Third period should be going in either today or tomorrow. All right. There was also a Vietnam web quest that needed to be completed. Most of you did get that done. Thank you very much for doing that. And then that should be submitted as well. If you have not submitted work, please make sure that you're getting that done. It's really easy to let this work kind of fall behind. The other thing I wanted you to be aware of is we're going to be finishing this novel. That's the end goal of all of this. But please note, like, if I ever have an issue where I've posted questions wrong or something like that, just let me know. It was an error on my part. Like I said, I've been sick. I was trying to get your work out on Monday to make sure that you had stuff to do for the week, make sure that we were staying on time, on task. And I made a mistake this week where the questions actually got posted as a view only document. So what you'll need to do is you'll actually need to copy and paste the questions onto a separate document and then attach that to the assignment. Please do not share, because you want to, let me think about it this way. If all 40 of you share the assignment with me, then I have to go through the shared with me folder and sort through them all. Whereas if you attach it, it makes it much easier to grade, and it keeps it with your name. All right, so make sure that you have that done. You already know most of this work. Like I said, that Ed puzzle thing is a little different for us. You've done them before for other classes. This isn't any different. It just make sure you get that done this week. And then I will not be reading today. And the reason I haven't been doing the reading is because I do think the audiobook is just infinitely better through the male voice that is reading. I could read to you, it wouldn't be an issue. However, when you have a voice actor that just fits the text so much better than you do, it is incredibly hard to kind of try to match that. All right, let's pull up your question set really fast. All right, so really quickly, I wanted to kind of look at, okay, so I have a master set of the questions. I've used some similar between each years. I get rid of some, add some, things like that. So I have a master set that I've been posting from. At this point, you've met most of Perry's squad, so you're gonna have met like Lobel, Monroe, Jenkins, Pee-wee, Gearhart, Lieutenant Carroll, and a few others. So make sure that you're adding them to the character chart. I know I had you turn in for the first 2 weeks. However, just copy and paste your first 2-week chart to your to this week's assignment and then update it. Okay, I just want to make sure that you have a good place to kind of move from. There are so many names in this novel, and like, this is actually one of the few novels where I struggle with their names. I have a hard time remembering Gearhart for some reason and who he is, but I always remember like Lobel because he's the one that does like movies. All right, so just keep that in mind. So at this point, you've met Perry and you've gotten to know him and Pee-wee and kind of some of the group, and it's an interesting group. They're all incredibly masculine. They're all there almost with like a point to prove, and we get kind of insight as to why each man joins. I mean, Perry has joined to take care of his own brother. Pee-wee has joined because it seemed like a good idea at the time. He had really nothing else going on. He's even impressed by Perry for graduating high school. He didn't think that he did. And Perry's like, no, I totally graduated. I just couldn't, you know. And as we now know, Perry couldn't really afford to go to college. When we see how the characters are dealing with trauma and stress, we do see kind of a variety of coping mechanisms. We see Pee-wee dealing it with humor, Perry dealing with it by just kind of trying to like roll with the punches, and then you've got like Rings, who isn't really a character who comes back, but he's the one that was like running around trying to like swap blood and things like that. It was he's like trying to find like a sense of brotherhood in all of this, and it's really interesting. Perry's not particularly impressed by his experience in the Army so far. He thought he'd be making more money. They never really seem to have a plan. Even if they do have a plan, it never really seems to stick. And so it's interesting watching him kind of move through this and, you know, go from being in his hometown, which I believe is Chicago off the top of my head, either that or New York, and kind of dropped into the middle of the jungle in Vietnam. All right. He has an injury that he got while playing basketball, and it's something that you should be cognizant of, or like kind of just put in the back of your head like Perry's injured, because it's going to come up a few times in this novel. And then we can foresee the death of a character in this section. So Jenkins dies, and it's really easy to see Jenkins as the one that would die, because at least he's the first death early in the novel, because he is obviously the most scared. Walter Dean Myers very much sets up the death of Jenkins's character pretty easily. He's the most scared. He's the most nervous. He even mentions a few times that he thinks he's going to die over there. And Jenkins' character is very sympathetic. He's there not because he really wants to be, but because his father has encouraged him to join the Army, or it was his plan anyway. And Jenkins becomes kind of the first fallen angel of the novel. And that's where we get the title of our novel from. Jenkins he's kind of there because, you know, somebody else wanted him to be there. He's not really interested in hurting anyone or killing anybody, but at the end of the day, he is an incredibly loyal son, and so he makes the choice to join, and he dies for it. And we see that happen a couple other times, but it's pretty upsetting. Jenkins is the first death for the squad, and it really bothers Perry a lot. I mean, you're going to see that kind of play out. All right. And then make sure you add, so I have here for 57 through 82, by this time you would have added Wallowik, Carol, Captain Stuart Lobel, Kenny and Perry's mom would also be part of the character sheet, so don't be afraid to do that. Talk about each man's reason for fighting war. At some point they're interviewed by a TV crew, and they're asked like, why are you here? And they each give really interesting answers. A lot of people really like Perry's answer. One of the big themes of the novel is randomness of war. So something that a lot of people don't, that a lot of people struggle to understand is this idea of like the randomness of war as a theme in our novel. So the concept of randomness of war is that it is unpredictable and it doesn't really care who you are or what you believe or anything like that. It is meant to basically just, it will kill you. And it's unpredictable in the way that like each time we read a chapter, we're going to find something that we kind of didn't expect from the get-go. So don't be afraid to look out for those. We see kind of some stuff that Perry says as we move forward to come to fruition, the idea of long stretches of boredom followed by moments of panic. And that continues to be clear. We also see him go on a patrol with a different company, and that is incredibly painful for him. He and it basically a huge instance of friendly fire happens. It's scary, and you know, you think you know who the enemy is, but when you can't see the enemy, it becomes even scarier. And then like the idea of this being a movie is really common for Lobel. And I'm curious what you think. Would you want somebody next to you who believes that all this is fake or has created an idea of fiction in his mind? Um, and then we do lose a main character, and it's really hard on the squad. It's a different kind of death than Jenkins's death, and I'll be curious to see what happens with what you guys think about that. All right, so as we kind of move forward, I'm going to try to check in with you guys next week. I should have a video out for you either Sunday or Monday with a plan for next week. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Also, just a really quick reminder, the audiobook is available for you. You can find it right here in your classroom page. You are welcome to use it, and then the Edpuzzle link is right here. All right, have a great day, guys, and I'm sorry that you can't see me, but I'll be back as soon as you know it. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.